I mentioned in a previous video the importance of maintaining our discipline in our mind when we're involved with chaotic times. Part of this is recognizing the difference between the fear feeders and the inner personas. Fear feeders are bad, inner personas are good. The fear feeders do basically what their name says. They feed on our fears, and they feed our fears. So any thoughts that you have that make you feel afraid or that feed off of your fears, those are going to be your fear feeder voices. Your inner personas come in 3 different flavors. We have our inner adults, and that's what we're most familiar with every day. That's the voice that we might hear that reminds us of what we need to get at the grocery or to pay our bills or things like that. Then we have our inner children. They like to enjoy beauty. They like to have fun and to play and learn new things and go on explorations. And then we have our inner elders. These are the wise internal elders that are like having the perfect grandparent or the perfect parent who can always tell you with love and acceptance that what you've done might not be the best choice. They're very respectful. Anyway, we've got to learn the difference between these so that we can find our true self. Now, when I say find your true self, I'm not talking about the person that you became in order to please your parents and your image makers, your teachers, society, things like that. This is your core personality, who you were before you were born. We were taught to behave in certain ways. Most of these lessons were about knowing the difference between right and wrong, but some of it is more than that. We're taught we must be a certain kind of person to fit in with our family, to be worthy of love. We get these messages directly and indirectly. We may have been told we had to believe a certain religion, sacrifice our happiness and important relationships for money, or only love certain types of people. This kind of indoctrination causes all kinds of depression, anxiety, and other stresses in life. At some point in time, we either decide to follow all of these rules that everyone else has laid out for us and live our life the way they would like us to, or we decide to follow our own path and find our true self. Both of these ways of living can be seen in 2 different medicine wheels. The circle of foxes shows us what it looks like when we live our life to please everybody else. The dance of the coyotes shows us what it's like when we live our life for ourselves and we find our true calling. The dance of the coyotes shows us how to get off of the circle of foxes wheel and live our life for ourselves. This is how we can begin to identify the recordings we play over and over again in our minds that bring us pain. These are the voices of the fear feeders, and their origin usually lies in what we've been told in our childhood. I invite you to take a step back and to look at yourself from a distance with love and understanding, just as wise, compassionate grandparents would. As time goes by, we may find certain prescribed behaviors and choices we made in our youth are not really working for us. We might not know what we want. We might not even know what other options we have. We're limited by our childhood training and experiences. The dance of the coyotes opens our eyes to other choices. This brings us to 2 more medicine wheels: the process of life experiences and the story of our life. We'll be using these 2 wheels to help us dance around the circle of foxes and the dance of the coyotes wheels. The process of life experiences wheel shows us how we make decisions. It shows us how we form our beliefs. These should change as we grow and gather more information. We examine how we were influenced by people in our life on the story of our life wheel. We write this story based on our own perception, not on how others see things or what we've been told. Sometimes we trick ourselves into believing things that aren't really true. Our perspective may be wrong. If we change our mind, we change our life. Instead of seeing ourselves as the abused child who suffered, we could see ourselves as the underdog who persevered in the face of injustice. We rewrite our story. We're not a loser. We're the winner. Here's an important key. You should rewrite your life so that you are the hero. I don't mean actually physically write things out. We're not going to turn this in to somebody to have them read it. This is not an autobiography. I just want you to reframe your life so that you are the victor, not the victim. You're thriving, not just surviving. You have to reframe the way you look at things so that you make yourself the hero. You can't see yourself as the villain or someone who doesn't catch on quickly. No good can come from that. You must know from the bottom of your heart that you did the best you could with the tools that you had been given. If you didn't have the most wonderful parents in the world, that's not your fault. None of us had perfect parents. The world is not perfect, and we are not perfect. We're always going to make mistakes. But the point is, you did the best you could. And you did a pretty good job, or you wouldn't be sitting here right now. Thank you very much for watching.